going on, guys? How you doing tonight? What's going on, Ty? What's going on, Devin? What's going on, Isabel? What's going on, Black Stylo? How you doing tonight? We are just getting ready to get started for Halloween 2. So make sure you got your DVDs, Blu-rays, VHSs, Betamax if you're watching it online. Get them all ready because we're getting ready to get into it. Making sure I got all my technology up and running the way it should. Yes, I saw the Krypton TV show. Sad to see it got canceled in after the second season. It's a great show. I was really interested in seeing where that was going to lead to, especially with the introduction of Lobo. Hey, what's going on, Road Killer? Oh, it's Shadow. Okay. The name of the song, let me pull it up real quick. It's called Dark Music Box. Inquire Sweet Little Lullaby. Alright, so we're getting ready to get into it. Fix my pop filter before this. I don't know why this thing does not like to stay still. I wonder if I do it like this. Work like that? Nah. This thing hates the microphone. It does not want to stay on it. Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. Now we're good. Hey, what's going on, Chuck? What's going on, Foxy? How you guys doing tonight? You gotta teach your autocorrect to keep Krypton in there, Ty. Doing pretty good. That sounds great. Figured I'd get in commentary. I just got done recording a video. Probably going to record something else for the giveaway. Try to promote that a little bit more and put that on the channel. But I did just record a video just completely off the cuff, not scripted. Work on the Evil Dead story is still going on. I have, as I said in the video that I just recorded, I'm really getting into writing that. I am up to the point where I have the demons now possessing people again, but the way I'm going about the story, I'm trying to work all the details in while not trying to copy off what they did in part 1, but still dropping little nuggets of Easter eggs and I guess it's not Easter. I guess callbacks would probably be a better term to try to sort of show that history repeats itself in a way, but I don't want to flat out rip off. Hey, what's going on, Death? How you doing tonight? Your profile picture hasn't changed yet. Shit. I wonder if you finalized it. But yeah, like once I get done the entire Evil Dead story, I will definitely be recording that in the same style that I did the Nightmare one. And it's likely going to be a lot longer. So I'm expecting the way that could go, it could be upwards of about a half an hour video. But with the way I'm writing it and the way I'm really doing everything, especially with cutting off all the sequels after Evil Dead 1 and creating an entirely new narrative, also gives me the freedom to use the book how I like. Because the book itself is very flatly described in part 1 as being something that is funerary rites and demon resurrection passages. So I'm using that to a degree, and I'm trying to see if I got a little wiggle room with certain things here and there, and using ghosts from the victims of the first movie in a very creepy kind of way. So like I said, stay tuned for that, because I got a lot of stuff coming that's going to be coming with that. And with as much fun as I had writing it, once I finish that, I could probably turn that into a series as well, because I have ideas that go beyond that. Yeah, the guy who played Zod in Krypton is a really good actor. Like, he's been in a couple. I think he was in Arrow, and I think he was in a couple of other things too. Like, I think was he in Resident Evil? I think he might have been in Resident Evil. He was the guy in the first Resident Evil that got cut up by all the lasers. So tomorrow is Terminator gameplay reveal for MK11. I saw something today for that. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. But I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched anything MK anything since Shang Tsung was released. Aside from the character reveal for the combat pack. Like all the characters. So you just played PUBG for, but I haven't played PUBG in a long time. I mean, I only played it a handful of times when I got it, and it was fun. It was definitely a fun game to play, especially if you got other people to play with, but I haven't really played it since. Oh, you have a good night, Jarrett. And stay safe on your way home, my friend. All right, but what do you say we get into the movie? So you guys get your copies of Halloween 2. This is the original Halloween 2, written by John Carpenter. Not Rob Zombie's one. We haven't gotten to that one yet, but we will. So get those movies ready, and we will begin here shortly. I'm just giving, I'd say, another 2-3 minutes for everyone that is joining to join, and we will start from there. Spawn versus Freddy Krueger, who would win? I would probably say Spawn. I think he, especially in the comics, he gets pretty OP. Hey, what's going on, Little Pocket? How you doing tonight? Glad to see your return. Meanwhile, let me jump over to here. There we go. Ooh. I see that I have not changed the poster. So what do you say we change the poster live on stream? That's a first. There we go. Make it match the thumbnail a bit. How many times do I have that during the commentaries? Jason versus Deadpool, it never ends. I mean, technically it could, because I mean Deadpool would eventually dismember Jason. Deadpool versus Victor Crowley, that would be something that never ends. Hey, what's going on, Addie May? How you doing? Nice to see you in the stream. So you watched Halloween 2018 earlier. I can't wait till we get to that point. Definitely, as you guys probably already suspected, I'll be breaking out my Mikey for that one too. I'll be in costume for that. Oh, glad you loved the poster. I was really excited when I found it. I love how it is a clear reference to the intro to the movie. Like I had to turn it into the thumbnail too. And pretty much just edit a bit of it to fit the thumbnail width and height. That makes any sense? And all right. How many of you guys got your movies ready before we begin? I don't want to hit play and you're still fumbling trying to get the disc in. VHS, Betamax, as I said, everything. Laserdisc, all of that. I want to make sure that you guys are prepared for the moment I hit play. Mike has feelings. Say, you invisible over. Oh, well, welcome, Horror Boy. Glad to see you in tonight. And Ghost. How you doing tonight? Shit, we're about to have the whole fucking crew here. Like, are you guys ready for Halloween 2? And also, make sure you guys are hitting that like button as well, so that way these notifications go out. I did see, like I said last night, it appears that YouTube is changing its algorithm, especially to make things a little bit more kid-friendly. So make sure you're hitting that like button. So if you, especially if you have the notification bell ticked, it's not going to send out notifications for live streams unless you're hitting the like button, even if you got it the bell ticked. For some reason, it's trying to do an algorithm to where it only alerts you of things that you watch. So if you watch a lot of the Dark Theories videos, whenever I put one out, then you'll get notified on it. But if you don't watch any of the live streams, you won't get notified of it, even if you got the bell ticked. So make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Oh, you have a fantastic night as well, Addie May. I was glad you were able to come in for at least 5 minutes and join the chat. But I hope you have a wonderful night, and hopefully you're joining us tomorrow when we watch Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. So make sure you got that ready if you have it. Yes, Foxy, I did see it. I've seen that a couple of times, but not as much as the other Halloween. So it's definitely going to be a treat tomorrow to sit down and watch that with you guys. Favorite Halloween movie so far? It's a toss-up with me, like it was with Friday the 13th, the first 5 of them being my favorite depending on the day. with Halloween 1, 2, and 2018. Those are my favorites and can change on any given day. Oh, I saw they're up to 73% Ghost. I cannot wait to see that. I can't wait to see the entire series of that. Like, I keep watching the music video over and over and over just because of how great that couple of minutes is. Are you too late for the movie, Andre? No, you are not. We have not started it yet. So make sure you got your copy in so when I say hit play, we can watch it together. Quote of the movie, Horror Boy. My friend Vern, who used to make music tracks, like as far as like beats and stuff like that, he did something. I can't remember. It was a while back, but he did make a. It wasn't even really a beat because you couldn't really do any vocals over it because it was more techno hip hop fusion kind of thing, and it didn't really lend itself to having vocals put over it, but he did have that line in it, and it always stuck with me that every time I hear that line I think of that music. Which, Vern, if you're watching, if you got a copy of that track, I need you to send that to me because I need that in my life again. Kratos versus Carnage, I'd probably go with Kratos. Although Carnage, the way he's going now, the symbiote god, all that, that's a tough one. Especially if he can get a symbiote on Kratos. That's a game changer. Am I going to see the new Joker movie? Probably won't see it opening weekend because I am preparing to go to Baltimore Comic-Con. So I have a lot of packing and a lot of planning to do for that, especially because I have family down there. So I'm probably going to be planning things all around that trip. But when I get back, oh yeah, I'm going to see Joker. One way or another, I'm going to see Joker. But all right, enough said. Let's actually go and get it. Let's get into the movie right now. So, assuming that everybody has all of their copies in, you got your snacks, popcorn, soda, juice. In Devin's case, orange juice. Isabel, possibly a raincoat, something like that. We're about to begin. So let me pull up my media player here. Got my DVD in, and where are you at? Don't leave me now. There we go. And popcorn is a snack. Fair enough. I'm used to going to the movies with my kids where it's if it doesn't have sugar on it, it's not a snack. So we make that distinction, Death. And we begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Get the Universal logo. Mr. Sandman. Ooh. Let me cut that off. Almost went by it. we almost had a copyright thing going on there. Still might have to see if I clipped it enough. Yeah, Death. Hopefully I got it. I don't want to wake up tomorrow to a copyright strike. Run, kids, run! Hey, Ranger, how you doing tonight? We are just beginning. We are about a minute and 50 seconds into the movie. Oh no, I do love the theme for this. Like how they updated the theme. I went down. Someone's probably gonna flag me for that pocket. Like copyright, he took someone else's material. It was a second and a half. Give me a break. You would figure, at the way Loomis acted about Michael Myers, that he would have been, as soon as Michael shot him, he would have ignored Laurie and just ran over to see if he was still there. Like, I like the H4 mask horror boy, but I feel like it's a little bit too plain. Like, that's why when I got my H1, I felt the same way about that. Even though it's supposed to be the fresh version, like the immediate, like after it was produced, before Nick Castle had all the wear and tear on it. But I felt like it was a little bit too plain. That's why I wanted to weather it a little bit. But I mean, the H4 that Tots is selling is perfect with the movie. Oh, there's the theme. To me, the theme in this kind of tone is arguably scarier than the original. If she comes up, I got Chucky ready and waiting, Ranger. But I don't think the H4 mask was the problem with Michael Myers in Halloween 4. The problem was the damn pads that they put on his shoulders. That made him look ridiculous. There's the pumpkin. I don't know. It's like the disco version of the theme gets you kind of pumped, but it's also, like I said, in my mind, it feels scarier than the original. Yeah, I don't mind the mask at all. I think it should have been probably used on the cover art as opposed to using the H1 mask because that was kind of a jarring difference. I love that. I could listen to that theme all night. And it's like, now that we're doing the Halloween commentaries, I'm just like, where the fuck is Chillin' at? This should have been like his wet dream. He should have got like a notification through Pigeon or something by now. Hey, what's going on, Max? How you doing? Welcome back, my friend. We are currently 6 minutes and 30 seconds into the movie if you care to join us. Let's see, the skull popping out. Like, I think for a while last year for Halloween, while I was 2018 Michael Myers, I did use this theme as a sort of a, I guess, as an alternate version for me walking through the neighborhoods and having it blaring off my Bluetooth speaker. Although I did use a majority of the 2018 soundtrack for that. Adds a completely different dimension to your costume if you're walking to the soundtrack of the horror character that you're portraying. Oh, there's a dog. Michael ain't killing that one. Yes, I'm watching the original Halloween 2 from 1981. There you go, Devin. That could be something that you could get subscribers on. Like how I'm doing the giveaway for the 2018 Halloween knife. You can always do similar kind of thing and give it to where the winner has naming rights over your baby. That'd be interesting. I can't guarantee that you won't regret it afterwards, but you don't see a lot of that. At least I haven't. Not on YouTube. So, what's my thoughts on the wig? I'm assuming you're talking about Jamie Lee Curtis's one in this. Oh, the old rod knife. Which is weird that he takes the knife and only kills like one person with that. I mean, I don't have a problem with the wig. As when I watched this for the first time, I didn't even really peg it as a wig until I was told in a documentary a couple years later. I didn't really pay attention to it like that. Although I guess you could take Michael's randomness and like just killing random victims in Halloween 2018. I guess you can kind of say he does that on here with her. Do I have a Halloween 2 mask? I do, but it's not exactly taken care of. And it's like one of the Tots ones, so it's super big and the hair is completely terrible. If I ever do a Halloween 2 cosplay, I'd probably go a different route. To maybe going after one of the higher end masks. Pretty much Black Style. Like, he just takes the knife and goes. But I guess that also feeds into the narrative of him being random. Like, takes a knife from one house, leaves the people completely safe, goes next door and kills someone else with it. Would have been the equivalent in Halloween 2018 if he went down that driveway, took the hammer from the one house, walked over to the lady that he stabs in the neck, and beats her to death with it, while leaving the original lady that he kills with the hammer pretty much safe, just like with nothing. Not offhand, Ty. I don't know many people that have done that costume or the pieces, but I have seen little bits here and there on Etsy that make fairly decent part two sacks to wear. But if anything, I would probably do as I think it was Steve Dash that said to put tape on the inside to bring the hole closer to your eye. Dog's going crazy.
Just because I got Hunter. I gotta put you both down. Where's your squeaky? Go get squeaky. Dude, she went after Hunter. Hunter's your squeaky. I care how fuck I do. Here's your wiener.
You watched the movie with me?
Hey Jay, you got a big wiener. It's getting winter time. Your wiener's gonna have to be covered.
This would be Molly the wiener. She's a very angry puppy.
That's when everyone hears barking all the time.
Unless you feed her. Then she's happy.
Dude, she just look at me like, dude, stop telling people shit about me. Like, you're not supposed to tell them the bad shit.
You want to talk on the microphone? Oh, lick it. I think it was one of them he was trying to threaten.
Yeah, that was the one that Chillin said he was going to kill.
This video has been flagged for indecent exposure. Shows too much wiener. Well,
I like that.
let me show you the whole thing.
Dude, she's just over there like, dude, not cool. Like, I'm really sick of these fucking wiener jokes.
Did you get a close-up of my wiener? Cover up your wiener. Everyone can see it.
Dude, I'm not going nowhere. Dude, you better put her down. She just keeps looking at me like, dude, you better not move. Like, jeez.
That's a huge wiener. That's what she said.
Alright, come here. Now, it's so tiny you can't see it. Is this one. Here, Jay. It's that one. That one's the one you can't...
This is the other one.
That's the one that is so tiny you can't see it.
This is the wiener dog that's mixed with a chihuahua.
He is the Vienna sausage. The other is the wiener dog. He is the Vienna. Molly, stop being jealous. Stop being jealous. I know. He's got a picture. I know. I get it. We get it. Okay. Look, and Hunter's just over there like, love me. Love me long time. And Molly's just over here like, put him the fuck down. Oh, hi, Death. Molly. Stop.
Oh, there comes Ben Tramer. Us Ben Tramer kind of turn around like Frankenstein. Like the Frankenstein monster. Just like...
Oh, Ty, I've joined so many wiener clubs on Facebook. I've probably heard every wiener joke out there, like ever invented.
Hey, I told Amanda to give both dogs their own YouTube channel, but she doesn't want to do it. Now, I wonder if that was Dick Warlock that played Ben Tramer. I never checked that out. I probably guess not because of how the mask fit on him. But, probably check that out during the credits at the end of the movie. Although that is kind of foreshadowing for the end of the movie. Don't worry, Ty. I'll send you a clip of it. Me with 2 wieners.
See, I'm really surprised you don't let them come in and chill with you. Like, look at them. They love it. Like, doing them in a nice, cool, clean room. Just
because
laying spread out.
they're evil creatures that plot against me.
Like they just like think they have the ring of their self.
Especially the bigger one. She's the ringleader.
Dude, she's so stupid though. How could she be a ringleader?
That's what scares me. I don't know what she's thinking. Just make sure they don't get over there and chew up the rubber pieces.
Molly, get out of there. Come on, get over here. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. You being a good girl?
JG Dark's Wiener, second channel. Coming soon. Yes, that is Amanda.
Yep. Hi, Chuck.
She was feeling lonely and needed some human contact.
No, the remote control won't work.
The remote control won't work.
Yeah, it won't work.
Did you use the Xbox controller?
It won't. I can't go to the recordings through that.
Then why not look on your phone at how to reprogram the remote control?
Because I just figured out that because I was up there watching other YouTube stuff, and then I was gonna like, oh, my show got recorded, so I was gonna watch that, and then it wouldn't work, and it was just it was a whole mess. And then I came down to use the bathroom, and I heard you in here, and I was like, oh, I'll just go in there for a few minutes. I was up there watching The Simpsons, the Cheech and Chong episode.
This October, a 5x5 movie, JG with wieners. Now that is worth a thumbs up. I don't remember her throat gash being that prominent.
Stop barking.
In part 1.
Excuse you. Oh my goodness, you're right.
JG's Juicy Wieners. The juiciest this side of the East Coast. It's like just oversaturated with juice. Just like dripping.
Oh, that's gross. Knowing that Molly licks her ass so much and stuff, like just the juicy. Oh no.
I mean, if you've ever been licked by her, then
Ugh.
you know how moist her tongue is. I believe this is where he bumps into the guy with the radio. mean, when I first watched the movie when that happened, Death, I didn't think much of it until like pretty much we started doing the whole comparison of horror movie characters and how Paul Rudd acted in that movie. Then you start nitpicking certain things and picking certain details out. Giallo, though, he's just like walking through the town. Nobody cares. He's not killing anybody. Just carrying on. Like, I would want to see a scene like that in Halloween Kills. Where he's walking through a town like that, but this time everyone is... They know who he is, and they're completely fucking terrified and don't want anything to do with him. Like, people are keeping their distance, but they want to attack him, but they're too afraid. Like, frozen in fear. Like, damn, he got there quick.
Dude, Hunter's there door like he's guarding that shit. You see it? He like sitting right up against the door like, dude, I got your back. I got this. Like, he's security. Gotta get a little sweater that says security on it now.
Only if you get him some sunglasses, too.
That'd be so cute. Get the little goggles and put on his little head. I think I know what you could be for Halloween. He can be the cop from Terminator. The next T-shirt design. JG Dark's wiener. What are you doing? Behave. Yeah. Behave. You being a good boy? You being a good boy? Where's JJ? Where's JJ? Is it JJ? Yeah, that's it.
Well, calling her out on her lie.
Hey, Hunter.
He was the Axel before Axel.
Come here. Good boy, come here. Okay. No, I don't want you rolling over. Sit up. I want to ask you a question. What do you think of fans? Do you like the fans? Tell them what you think of them. Tell them. Tell them what you think of them. Tell them. Yeah? Say thank you. Yeah, tell them. Tell them. Yeah? Say thank you for staying tuned. Yeah, huh? To JG Dark Show. Yep, say it. Tell them. Yeah? Now you're going to tell them that we have to go, right? Oh, yep, and here comes the other one. You don't do shit, you just bark. See? You just bark and be an asshole. He actually, like, tries to be nice. Yeah. He actually tries to address them.
It's like death is pulling... sleep is pulling at you, Death. That was a Freudian slip, wasn't it? Like, death is pulling at death.
That's a good idea, Dev. Just keep him at the door for Abby. Every time Abby pokes her head in, he just starts howling.
So I wonder if they used Nick Castle's breathing under the mask. Like they did in the first movie. Like, how much of the Nick Castle stuff did they use from the first film? Like breathing, sound effects, and all that?
Come on. Shut up. Shut up. Stop.
Apparently the dog spotted an intruder, and they're going to rip them apart.
They did. That's literally what they're doing. They heard someone on the steps. It went bonkers.
The most dangerous dogs in the animal kingdom.
He's a wiener dog.
Like,
Dude,
you
they
haven't
are-
felt danger until you've been swarmed by dachshunds.
Dude, they are ferocious, literally. And then people might think the little one is cute, but try not feeding him when he wants fed. Dude, he turns into a, oh my goodness, he could be Gremlin. He could be a Gremlin. He could be Gizmo for Halloween. Because of his little ears and everything, and when he gets mad and stuff, he does them sideways. Dude, he'd be a perfect Gizmo. And then Molly, I think for her, I'm going to get some little curling pins and stuff, curlers and everything, and I'm going to make her into a mean old lady. Put a little robe on her, because she likes to bark and run her mouth.
Yeah, I know that, Ty. They were originally going the route of making Kelly Ash's daughter, but then changed it. I forget the reason. But I think it had something to do with how Ash was like flirting with her throughout the first season. And they thought it was just a little bit too much.
Alright, I'm out.
I'll be knocking over my lights.
I am?
I said, don't be.
Oh, I thought you said I was. I was about to say, like, dude, I didn't do anything. Is this, Bella's extra mask over
Yeah.
here? Okay. I was wondering what the heck.
Sam Elliott. Oh, Sam Elliott as Tommy Jarvis's dad. I mean, I could kind of see him do it, but it could go either way for me. To me, it's not exactly a jump out like, yeah, that's a great line. I could take it or leave it. So I guess this is what Rick Rosenthal was trying to recreate in Halloween Resurrection. That was him that did Halloween Resurrection. What? I know he did H2O, but I don't know if he did Resurrection too. I don't know. Like, I don't know how that worked with Michael, because you would figure if it was acid, it would have burned through his veins, and he would have reacted to it. I always thought it was some kind of sedative, because they do establish that Michael can be sedated in part one. So if he could be sedated and that works on him, how the hell does acid? How does that go about doing anything? Like, I mean, it should do something, but it should be far more painful than what we saw from him. So yeah, it looks like a lot of what he tried to do in Halloween Resurrection did try to take from this, especially with the whole hospital setting. That kind of makes sense with how he was trying to do things. Ooh. It's like a mean drop of the hammer. Yeah, I saw that, Robert. I remember there was a channel that made mention of that. I can't remember if it was Dead Meat or it might have been. It was one of between Decker Shadow, Boots to Reboots, or Dead Meat that said that. I don't know if that was a coincidence or they got wind of something or went back for a quick reshoot and added it. But that's real crazy that both of them come out the same year. Both of them have a cop getting bashed in the head with a hammer. Like, now, what would destroying Michael's house actually do? Even if you guys were an angry mob, he's not there. Where am I in the movie? I am 42 minutes in, horror boy. Um, I'm not sure as far as the overall continuity tie with that. From what I remembered, when they started Ash versus the Evil Dead, they didn't have the rights to use Army of Darkness, so that included everything that was incorporated with that, including S Mart. So they weren't allowed to use S Mart, so they used a different store for Ash to work at. I don't think they actually got the rights to use anything from Army of Darkness until later on. No, I didn't see that, Death. Which that sounds super interesting. If you can find a clip of that, definitely send that to me. I would love to see that. Why does the Myers house not get used much in the series? I don't know. Like, I mean, we see it in part one, we see it here. Part four, I think they make mention of it, but I'm not entirely sure. Part five, we supposedly see the Myers house, but that ain't the Myers house. Part six, the Myers house is bought by the Strodes, and they live at. So you could say it was used quite a bit, if you think of it. It's not until you get to H2O that it's not really used at all. But Resurrection, the majority of that movie takes place in the Myers house. That's funny, right? I did make mention to Betamax at the beginning of the stream. Dev, I guess might have been going by too quick. I didn't see it. I mean, me personally, Hardboy, I do like I like VHS because of the 80s feel to it. But personally, I'm a guy who loves clarity. So being able to watch something in HD is a huge selling point for me. But I think in instances like 80s slasher movies where they tried to hide a lot because of the quality of film that they were using, HD can definitely be a something that can expose some things. But yeah, I would probably say for horror movies, VHS is probably the best way to go. But depending on the horror movie, like if you're watching ghost movies, like J horror ghost movies, I need it as clear as fucking possible. Get me Super 8, give me 4K, give me 10K if you can. I want to be able to see everything. But a slasher movie, VHS is perfect. Like I would love to watch Halloween 2018 on VHS. See how that looks. Now, I think 4K, it's overrated in terms, I think, in movies. Gaming, I think, is where it's likely going to thrive in. But that's also refresh rates of your TV, too. Like, if you have a good refresh rate with the 4K, which you should if you're getting a 4K, then you are at optimal gaming experience. But for movies, it's not really needed. HD is perfect. Yeah, yeah, I remember that, Robert. Dana Carvey being in it. I haven't seen anything, Devin, since your last comment about me about the comments possibly going by too fast. Which I remember they said that water was cold as shit, so I could only imagine him in that water. Of course, gratuitous boob shot. Welcome back, Death. No Isabel around. You can enjoy the movie as much as you want. Oh no, horror boy. I might actually try that. Rewatch Halloween 1 and 2 in black and white and see how it compares. And it's like, why is Michael worried about these people when his main objective is Lori? Or is his goal to clear out the hospital? But then, wouldn't he also be killing other patients at the hospital? Or is this the only hospital in the U.S. that has 5 people that work for him and no other patients? That is mostly my argument, Ty. Because there's no way, timeline wise, that Pamela could have gotten the Necronomicon and read from it. I still doubt that she even knows how to read it. But there. Ooh. There's the drowning in the jacuzzi scene. So I would figure Michael's hands would start peeling too with how hot it is. If her face is doing that, his hands should be doing the same thing. It's like he keeps picking her up so you can see his work. Ouch. Am I a fan of the sister storyline? I liked it at first, but I am kind of more leaning towards Michael not really having a motive. Like him just being evil, like Dr. Loomis said, and just going after everybody. Michael versus the Predator, who would win? The Predator. The Predator would destroy Michael. If not for anything, long distance weapons. That shoulder cannon alone would decimate Michael. Yeah, I see Death. I'll check that out like after the stream. I have to remember that and go back in the stream and check it out. So essentially, they were willing to take Loomis from Haddonfield and let people die just so they weren't blamed for it, so to speak. When even though they're going to get blamed for it because Michael was under their care when he escaped. He wasn't under Loomis's or the nurse's care at all. I might start introducing myself in videos like that, Devin. I am the counter to Decker Shadow. But JG, why don't you have hair? Decker Shadow took it all. There's a reason why he's the internet personality with the best hair. He takes it from others and it grows uncontrollably. I mean, Ty, I would probably, if I was going to go that route with Elias being an ancient demon, I would kind of scrap Elias being the demon and just having it how it is in the Pamela tapes, where Pamela marries Elias for protection, but Jason is not his child, but Jason takes his stepfather's name. You create where the demon might have been accidentally summoned from one of the ripped pages of maybe not the Necronomicon or the Naturom Demontos, but maybe something else. And that demon possessed someone else and has possessed them for years and was the one that raped Pamela. And then pretty much go from there that Jason is the half demon spawn of whoever you want the demon to be. Oh, that just looks fucking painful. But I wouldn't be so quick to include Evil Dead into that. Mostly because I think that ties you down a whole lot when you start connecting them. And if you make it something else that's not inclusive to that, you have a lot more freedom to go with your story. Oh yeah, Decker is fucking hilarious. I love Decker. Does that mean Roy could be the demon? Absolutely. That could most certainly mean that Roy could be the demon. Because, I mean, the demons that we get depicted in movies are just evil creatures. We don't hardly get anything that is more complex than that. Like, look at Lucifer on the show Lucifer. He's the devil, but he's a very complex character if you break him down. Like, he loves, he feels, and he has turmoil in his life that pulls him to one way and also pulls him to the other. Why can't a demon who, let's say they possess Roy Burns' body, becomes a victim of sensation, rapes Pamela, but then over the years starts to develop human feelings, ends up falling in love with someone else, and has Joey, and we go from there. While Jason is the evil spawn of what Roy was, or possessed Roy was, Joey was the flip side of that, which is why Joey never got resurrected, but Jason did. And it creates a dichotomy between the two characters. Oh, thank you, Chuck. Thank you. Like, I mean, potentially death, Joey could, but I like it being the whole dichotomy of that. Like, Joey was born out of love, Jason was born out of hatred. While his mother did love him, the demon that possessed Roy was full of hate, resentment, and was more demon than human at that time. But by the time he had Joey, he was more human than demon at that time due to spending so much time in that body. But once Joey died, it rose up that demon again inside of Roy, and you get part 5 that happens. If you wanted to go that route. Oh, I'll be likely doing the House movies at some point. It's like Michael just going room to room. Did Joey's mom give Roy a king size Snickers bar? On the first date, she did. And from there on, it was true love. Till she had Joey, and then something in him just, I can't do this, and he left. It's like literally Michael Myers going room to room in a fucking hospital and not. There's no other patients. There's like 5 workers. What kind of hospital is this? Because I've stayed in a hospital overnight. I don't know if this is an 80s thing or what, but I've stayed in a hospital overnight and there's a pretty good amount of staff and there's more than one fucking patient in the hospital. Freddy, let's get high. So I think I might do a Nightmare on Elm Street for the month of November. Leading into Christmas, and then we'll do Silent Night, Deadly Night. And then a couple other Christmas themed ones. I got a couple of commentaries in the works. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that, Ty. I wouldn't mind it. Because with that, you erase the whole Pamela reading from the book and bringing Jason back. So, like, pretty much then you're able to work towards, Jason already had that within him to come back. And he can't die because of that. I mean, it's a way you can also explain away the whole Voorhees curse. There is no Voorhees curse. It's just Jason is a demon. And then you go from there. And that's how you can be inclusive of the New Line movies. It's like one of the only ways I think you can include the New Line movies. But even then, after what Adam Marcus has said recently about the timeline of Jason Goes to Hell, it definitely throws doubt to that. Hey, what's going on, Geek? How you doing? So your Nightfall Bane is finished. I can't wait to see it. We almost, we got like 2 weeks or so? Maybe 2.5 weeks? It's like literally the hospital has been completely shut down. Like I've seen more life in a hospital when Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures have been in one. That's some really red blood. Looks more like acrylic paint. Ow. So he walked all the way over there. He didn't slip not once walking to her. But then once he realized that it's on the floor, then he slips and falls and busts his ass. So wouldn't it have been the other way around? Shouldn't he have like walked in to see her and then slipped and fell? Like Michael over here slashing tires and shit. Fuck that, I can walk. I ain't going back in there, especially with all the lights out. Check the ambulance. See if he slashed the ambulance tires. Hey, what's going on, Becky? How you doing tonight? We are currently 1 hour and 7 or 8 minutes in to Halloween 2. Again, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, be sure to hit that like button. So that way you guys are notified when we start doing more and more commentaries. Yeah, the hospital does look abandoned. Not much, just doing the Halloween commentaries as tomorrow is the beginning of October. So we're getting in it early. Ooh. You realize how impressive that is that he can stab her with a scalpel and keep that dug in the spot and raise her without the blade sliding. Oh, I'm getting Dead by Daylight flashbacks. What's my favorite Michael Myers look? Between H1 and Halloween 2018. Under that would probably be Halloween 6. I love that look. Ooh, what's the beginning? What beginning are you talking about, Geek? Just in case I forget some stuff. Because I know horror-wise, there's a lot of stuff coming out in October. Watchmen! Yes! Fucking yes. I'm glad you said something about that. I completely forgot and I cannot wait for Watchmen. Oh, thank you, Becky. Thank you. Hopefully I get some more pictures here in the coming weeks, especially being at Comic-Con. I mean, 6 is decent. As a slasher fan, I don't particularly have a problem with 6. There's some technical issues with it, but it's still a decent enough watch. Oh yeah, we were just talking about the Joker movie. Can't wait for that. I'll probably wait until I get back from Comic-Con to see that, though. What's going on, Death Valley Production? How you doing? Welcome to the stream, my friend. That should mean that death. Alright, that's bullshit, because that elevator should have opened with his hand there. She should have been screwed. I mean, Donald Pleasance is fairly decent in 6, but I think his best performances, you could argue it probably say between 4 and 5. Those are he's the standouts in both of those. Well, not even just the standout in 4 and 5, because I mean you also got Danielle Harris as the standout too. But definitely the way he acts as Dr. Loomis in 4 and 5 are, I think, because he has more screen time and more lines to work with, he stands out a bit more than what he did in 6. Can you see Chucky? I might bring Chucky out after the movie. So stay tuned, Max. Stay tuned. It depends, Death Valley. I don't want to get everybody confused. What they do with the flashbacks from 1978. Are they just recreating scenes and sort of reworking history? Or are they giving us certain points of that night when Michael wasn't on screen? Because, I mean, there is a couple of hours accounted for that Michael could have did something. But it all depends on what and how integral it is to the story. My guess is they're likely going to give us something that is going to lead into how Michael was captured. Like when we see the picture of Michael walking in front of the house, it might have been after he got shot by Loomis and before he was captured. But yeah, I definitely agree. It could definitely make or break the movie, depending on what they do with it. I'm more interested in the pictures that sort of indicate that we might get a flashback to the 60s. And my theory on that is that we may end up seeing Michael with his family as a happy, normal kid before 1963 Halloween. And then he just becomes the Shape. So it could be a dichotomy of that, like showing up. Like we get normal Michael laughing with Judith, talking to his parents, being a normal kid, to after when Michael is silent, emotionless, and just an all-out killer. And that might set up for what happens at the end of Halloween Ends when a new kid becomes the Shape. That's my prediction for that. How do you write a promiscuous girl as your lead in a slasher movie without having her be a Mary Sue because of the troops? I'm guessing you mean tropes in a slasher movie. Subvert expectations. add more realism to it. Just because she might be promiscuous doesn't mean she's an idiot. And you just take the attributes of a final girl and just apply it to her. I mean, she's not trying to have sex with anything and everything just because she's promiscuous. That's not what that means at all. Like, it could just be that she starts out as promiscuous, but she has a survival instinct, and you just have to apply that to the character as you're writing it. That's why Chuck on Halloween, you need to dress up as Chucky, even a life-size version. Oh, nice, Death Valley, nice. I wouldn't mind hearing more about that. Am I subscribed to DC Universe? I was for a bit, but I also still get the episodes. I download the episodes individually. So I'm all caught up on Titans, Young Justice, and all that, and Swamp Thing. So I'm still good on everything that I get. And it's like the way I'm getting them, it's pretty much like through means of I don't really have to pay much of anything that I wouldn't already have to pay if I was on DC Universe. So it's actually less than what DC Universe is charging, but I'm still watching everything. So you're going to pop a frontal lobe death? Why? What are you confused by in VHS movies? Yes, I cannot wait for it. I love Doom Patrol. Uh, Depending on what you're trying to put the gore on, Becky, I always found it to look really good if you can use if you're trying to simulate flesh, toilet paper and liquid latex simulates a good version of flesh, and then you just add the blood itself onto the toilet paper and paint I would probably say browns and blacks around the wound that you want to create. That creates a fairly good gore kind of effect. But it also depends on what you're putting it on, too. Like, how the hell does he do that with that glass? Let's just, like, slowly walk through it. Like, that takes a lot of strength. Not even, like, arm strength, just body strength and leg strength to push yourself through it. Flex mentality. That episode was fucking hilarious. Where he gave everyone an orgasm. Thinking neck wound, what you do is you'd add some spirit gum and you put it on your neck in the shape of the wound not to say wound that you want to create. Shape the toilet paper on the spirit gum itself. Start picking at the ends and try to blend in the edges as much as you can around your neck. And then what you end up doing is you'll take liquid latex and you'll paint the outside of the toilet paper with the liquid latex, and then you'll paint it the flesh tone of your skin around you. Then you'll start adding the next level of paint, which is the sort of like the bloodied skin, the bruising from the skin being punctured, it'd be purple, black, and red that you'll end up using and just creating like sort of that color that happens when you have it like that. And then you'll take the brown, you'll color the inside of the wound. Inside, you'll either do brown or brown and red. Probably brown and red because that simulates that a little bit better. And then you'll take fake blood and you'll start getting it in there to get that wet effect. And then go from there. It should be fine after that. You're welcome, Becky, but don't thank me until you try it. Because a lot of that's trial and error. I did it for Freddy Krueger makeup. When I did my own toilet paper kind of special effects on it. This was my first time doing it, and I forgot to put Vaseline on my eyebrows. I was picking that shit out of them for like 2 weeks. I'm not that talented, Ty. I mean, I know my way around to do and apply some appliances, but I'm not like Tom Savini or anything. Anime character face with all Opus laws. I had that picture in my head now, Deb. Oh, thank you, Becky. Thank you. See, it's like, why would he stop and feel anything for a sister that he doesn't really know? I remember for the longest time thinking that that was her making that sound. Well, not her, but him making that sound while he was swiping. I never realized it was actually Lori making that sound. So every time I heard that, I just started dying laughing of Michael like sort of whimpering when he was swiping. I don't think I've seen that, Ty. So you can kind of play keep away with Michael like that. What the fuck did he just say? Okay, I understood that. All that other shit was in English, though. I see you, Death. I see it. Oh, I remember Media. Media made a shit ton of horror VHSs back in the day. If I could replace any Halloween film to do my own thing with, I would probably do Resurrection. I think of all those movies, they had an interesting premise, but just didn't have a story to go with it. And I would redo that from the found footage perspective. I wouldn't do it from like the way they did it with the whole Dangertainment, Buster Rhymes thing. I would want a version of Michael that is similar to Halloween 2018's version and really play with the supernatural ambiguity of the Myers house, of ghosts being there, of Michael being there. And it wouldn't have been as many investigators there. Like, let's take her to a more populated hospital. Because this one only had like 2 people working at it. The fuck was she even doing there in the first place? Only when I have written nothing. Ree! Now I think there's just so many people like in the chat. They're saying stuff, and then I'm watching the movie, and you say something, and then I just see like pretty much the afterthought of what you wrote when you're still looking for the answer, and I don't see it, and then when I ask you to retype it, I do the same thing. All right, let's see if Ben Tramer. Where the hell is he at? Mrs. Elrod, Man in Pajamas. Uh, okay. So yeah, it was a different guy. Jack Verboy as Bennett Tramer. That's his name? How did they still fuck up Michael's age? On this one too, it's Michael age 23. Michael's 21 years old. I get the first one you might have like some continuity issue where the person fucked up the end credits, didn't realize Michael was 6 years old, and then 15 years later. But this is part 2. You had, what was it, 78, 79? You had like 3 or 4 years to think about this, and you still fucked up the end credits. Yeah, the Halloween Return script would have been a fairly interesting film to see. But I'm definitely not mad that they didn't make that they made Halloween 2018. I'm not mad with that. So Halloween 6, Halloween ended with Halloween 6 in my greatest opinion. I mean, there's fans that think like that. Like, I mean, purists are always going to look at the original timeline, which I do touch on in the video I recorded before the stream. I did touch on that. The video was about timeline reboots and full out reboots. And it was something I wanted to discuss a little bit on why timeline reboots can be necessary. And once I get done editing that, I should have that out hopefully this week. But we'll see how things go with it. But I mean, it's definitely, I respect the opinion of it. Like, if you are a purist and you love the original Halloween timeline, then yeah, it's definitely a kick in the nuts when they reboot the timeline with the H2O timeline. And then it's double kick in the nuts because then they reboot the timeline again with the 2018 timeline, just further distancing itself from the Thorn timeline. So I can understand the dislike, but at the same time, it keeps the franchise alive, and it does bring the character back full circle to who the character originally was, as opposed to what they became. That was sort of a far cry from where they began. Pretty much, like, you had one job and you still fucked up on it. You're invincible when you don't want to be. I'm convinced I'm cursed. It's the curse of the ghost Abby. She did it. So does Loomis survive? Because it says yes, Loomis did survive. In Halloween 4, it clearly indicates that because Loomis is in the movie. Loomis isn't actually written to be dead until Halloween H2O. At that point, in the new continuities, the H2O and the 2018 continuities, Loomis dies. He's dead. Of course, the 2018 continuities, he doesn't die in the fire because the fire never happens. He dies in 1995, if I remember that right. And then they just carry on from there, where Dr. Sartain took care of Michael Myers after that. But in the original Halloween timeline, it's only implied that Loomis dies in Halloween 6. And depending on the cut, Loomis also gets cursed with the Curse of Thorn in Halloween 6. Spoilers. Then in H2O, he dies at some point. Not in the fire, but it's at some point later where the nurse, I guess, is taking care of him at his house. And he dies at some point prior to the events of the film. I believe there was a book on that where Michael even visits Loomis on his like on his deathbed, so to speak. Like, Michael doesn't kill him, but he visits him. Now, Ty, you would be half right. The original concept for Halloween H2O or Halloween Water, whichever you want to call it, the original concept was to have Laurie fake her death and give up Jamie Lloyd. But Jamie Lee Curtis herself explicitly refused to come back with any involvement of her movie to the original sequels. So everything from the original sequels was scrapped. That is why when the police are searching Loomis's office, they talk about Michael Myers in the way that they talk about. Nobody has seen or heard from him since Halloween 2. Like, he doesn't have this huge reputation that he would have gained from the events of Halloween 4, 5, and 6. And then you have the beginning of Halloween Resurrection. The guy who knows all the history of all the serial killers, he rattles off only Halloween 1 and 2, the events of those, and the victims that Michael piled up in Halloween 1 and 2. And he specifically says Michael has been gone missing until he hit Hill's Crest Academy. and then killed those people there in Halloween H2O. And he hasn't been seen since, and now he's back. They completely disregard Halloween 4, 5, and 6, which is why they don't even put a part number on Halloween H2O and Halloween Resurrection, because they did not want to be associated with that group of sequels. Yeah, it was when I looked at Halloween 2018, I loved the movie, but it did take a lot out of the playbook of Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and giving you that nostalgia kind of revisiting all the old things that made you love the original movie. Now it's going to be interesting to see if these new movies live up to the reputation that they have created around this new timeline. Did I see the 1982 movie Trick or Treats? I don't think so. If I did, I probably don't remember it. There was supposed to be a second Halloween Resurrection. I heard they wanted to, but the movie didn't make enough money, so then they just scrapped the timeline and went with the reboot route. Ghost Abby would never. If you talk about her pizza, she might. Do I think the babies in the hospital were safe? I don't. They don't never make mention of them. I mean, if I was James on Dead Meat, I probably wouldn't count him in the kill count, but I'd be suspicious. I mean, it depends, Ty, on who you trust as being the historian. There's the cops at the beginning of H2O that say they never found Michael's body after the fire in Halloween 2. And then there's the crazy guy in the insane asylum that Michael gives the knife to in Resurrection. Both of them explicitly ignore everything that Michael did in Halloween 4, 5, and 6. Jamie Lloyd, everything. So, like, I mean, it's very much implied and almost outright given to you information-wise that Michael Myers, they thought he was dead since Halloween 2. And for someone like Laurie Strode, definitely would have been keeping tabs on that. The H2 poster is your current facial expression. Don't eat Abby pizza. It's just like you're just sitting there, and like pretty much just the face just starts splitting like. Get up to the lightning screen. Alright, let me go grab Chucky real quick from Max. I'll be right back. I will say this hair is a nightmare to deal with. It's Abby's my daughter, Black Stylo, or Ghost Abby as most people know her. And one thing we know, we do not touch Ghost Abby's pizza. No, I don't think this one. It's like trying to fix the hair is still like a fucking nightmare. I may have to possibly get some clips or something to keep the hair out of his eyes. Yeah, Robert, I did see the nurse is coming back for Halloween Kills. Yeah, I still love the doll. Like, the doll itself is still not bad for the price tag, as I said in the review. I would say if you guys definitely want to get your hands on a cheaper Chucky that actually gives a lot more bang for your buck, this is the guy. Let me go ahead and put him back real quick. All right. Do I have the Chucky from the original series, Chuck? I do not. That would be made, I think, by NECA and Tots. And I do not have enough money to get one yet. But hopefully once things get settled with YouTube and everything, and I start getting a little bit higher up there in numbers, you never know. A lot of the stuff that I make off YouTube's going back into the channel, and especially props. Chucky would be one of them. So it all depends on how things go with it. But I do intend to get a Tots Chucky doll at some point. JG plays with dolls. You're fucking right, I do. All right. So what I'm going to probably do at this point on, I'm going to probably end the stream here. We'll end up being on tomorrow for Halloween 3. Wednesday, I am going to have to cut Wednesdays from the stream schedule just because I got a couple of things work-wise and extracurricular that I'm going to be doing on Wednesdays. So I do have to cut that from the stream schedule itself. But Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, they'll still be intact. So I'll end up seeing you guys tomorrow and then Sunday after that. And of course, like I said, I got the video that I'm going to be releasing. Meanwhile, if you guys have not done it yet, we got the giveaway going on for one of these guys. I got one of these still in the package, fresh, still in the box from Nightmare Toys. That is the one I'm giving up for the giveaway. So if you guys haven't entered the giveaway, be sure to click the link down below to enter the contest. And there are multiple ways you can get entries. I believe from following me on Twitter, Instagram, the Facebook page. There's a couple of other things, videos on there to watch that gain you entries. Feel free to do that and gain as many entries as you can, and good luck if you enter. And I will be announcing the winner of this, I believe I have it ending on the 16th, and I'll probably announce it on the 17th. And it will probably ship out either that day or the next. But I do want to try to get it to the winner before Halloween. Give me the knife. I'll give it to you. Like this one, this is my personal knife that I'm going to be bringing to Comic-Con with me when I do 2018 Michael. Which I love this. If I would have got my 1978 knife, which I believe there's a delay on from Tots, I would have probably, if I can talk, I would have probably brought that, the 1978 Michael costume, to Comic-Con instead, but I think this will do just fine. Hopefully I don't get stopped and this taken away. Because, I mean, it looks real, but it's clearly fake. But who knows? But like I said, if you guys haven't entered yet, be sure to do so. And with that being said, I'm going to head out. I'm going to end the stream, record my promotion video for the giveaway. And then I will begin setting up all of my stuff for tomorrow for Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. So make sure you guys got that good and ready once we get on. And as always, I am JG Dark. And thanks for watching.